took out. There we go. All right, Mark, I love it. Mark, I love it when you do the countdown.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Greetings, citizens! You're now trapped in a nerd cage with your hosts Mark and Jay. We hope you have a smashing good time.
Finish him. Kung Lao wins. Fatality. Flawless victory. Prepare to die.
Tell me, do you bleed?
Behold, Mark has given me permission to host a Snydercut watch party on Saturday, March 27th, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, and 5 p.m. West Coast. For this epic event, I call upon thee, Dion from Off the Beaten Podcast, voice actor Matthew Farden, Titan Goji, Brian from Monstrosities, Wild Band, and Yoko Higuchi from Resistance Films. You are about to witness the strength of geek knowledge. Hello and welcome. That's right, you're trapped in NerdCage Live. This ain't just a reaction show, but a debate show and a live discussion on everything that makes people like you and I tick. So thank you for joining us tonight. Please hit that like button and subscribe. I'm your co-host, Jay St. G, certified geek, 7 days a week, coming to you live from Syracuse, New York. And tonight, we have a stacked lineup of returning guests. But with me, as always, is the warrior for Wakanda, the Fiend from Louisville, my man, Mark Withers. Introduce these worthy Cage Warriors.
Hey, what's up, guys? Super excited to be here as usual. And yes, tonight we have a true NerdCage Live going on with two of our very good friends from the channel. From Movie Aficianados, we have Joshua Burris. Joshua, how are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing good. How's it going? Love you guys, 3000. Doing great, man.
And from Off the Beaten Podcast, we have Dion McGill. How are you, sir?
Yo, what up? I'm great. Excited. Let's talk. Let's
do this. We got
Dion's been on here. Dion's been like record-breaking like NerdCage Live appearances.
And I love it every time. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for having me.
We love having you on. And
Yes.
tonight we have a lot of good, interesting topics to talk about. I know that Jay has one in particular that he's like really, really excited about. So let's go ahead and just jump right in. What are we talking about first, Jay?
Well, before we get to that, let's just welcome everybody in the chat here. Fallen One Gaming, our moderator, Scott Bannett. Good to see you, buddy. Cat F is in here. Betty Rage, Paul Tackett, always nice to see you. Josh Bates, good to see you. Titan Goji, over there freezing his ass off down in Dallas.
Oh, man.
We hope you're doing warm
right.
here. Sammy Ross is here. Thank you for coming in. Wow, this is awesome. So, yes, y'all know here what we're going to talk about, and that was the epic trailer that dropped today. Mortal Kombat! Oh, my God. Oh, my God. I had a nerdgasm, all right? This is what I've been waiting for. This is what they were keeping from us. Like, they unleashed it. I lost my damn mind. I loved everything that I saw for the most part. I do have a nitpick, but I loved it. My God, I am just hoping that the video game curse, or I should say the video game movie curse, is finally broken, because what a first impression this trailer brought to us. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And I'm looking at your faces right now. Mark, I see your face. And of course, over there, Joshua, I see your face. What's your guys' deal?
Josh, you go first.
Yeah, it's not good, man. It's not good. I like to get into the thick of things. It's not good. Looking at it from a writer's standpoint, seems like everything they showed us was basically about the first act of the film, where all these characters meet like they're at an AA meeting. Hi, I'm Kung Lao. Hi, who are you? I'm Sonya. Oh, hey, Sonya, this is Jax. Would you like to meet him? Oh, and by the way, this is Kano. He's a really cool guy. Not evil at all, man. You can definitely trust him. Yeah, and it doesn't seem organic the way that they're going to meet. You know, like, I mean, we just watched the MCU. It took 10 years for all these characters to meet.
Right.
It made sense, you know. I know we only have an hour and a half, hopefully, or 2 hours maybe. And, yeah, it just seems like the first movies, which is what I said on my channel. It seems like the first Mortal Kombat movie. Like, hey, we're the special forces. Oh, but there's a tournament. It's time to enter it now. I'm Raiden. Let's go. Very rushed.
Right.
I don't have a lot of faith in it.
Finish him.
All right. Mark.
I'm sorry. I know that was a gut punch, and I wish I had, I wish I had your back on this one. But I think me and Josh are of the same mind here. Let me just start with the things that I do like about it.
Okay.
Right. So,
okay.
All right. So I love the look, the overall aesthetic.
Yes.
And, for the most part, I think the characters, they look great. Certainly,
100%.
A considerable upgrade from the original. I really like, particularly like that opening scene where they kind of show like the origin, like at least their version of the origin of Jax losing his arms. Like, I actually thought that was really cool that they decided to take.
Hell yes, it was.
Going up against Sub-Zero.
Y'all can see it in the gift right there.
I'm sorry. I do have to say this about that. I have to cut in a little bit.
Sure.
Yeah, Sub-Zero left him alive, though. He didn't just kill him. That seems a little weird. And
it does.
If he's an evil character.
Well,
it does.
Hold on. There's no way Jax was alone in that raid. So maybe I'm assuming Sub-Zero fled after he did what he did to Jax. Because it was a special forces raid.
Well, story aside, just like the look of it, like was impressive. Like how he fires off the shot and then Sub-Zero just kind of stops the bullet. Like, I actually thought that looked cool. You know what I mean? There's just like, yeah, visually, I think they've really like stepped things up, and definitely, they're giving us a real indication that we're going to see some like actual fatalities. You know what I mean? Similar to the game where we didn't get that the first time. I like all of that, but they made the mistake of like showing us clips where these people act. and I thought
Okay,
it was
I'm ready.
bad. I thought it was terrible. Like the little bit that they did show us, I was just like, are they really like, did they really not want to take another take, like, and try it again? Like, it just didn't feel like I didn't believe any of these characters. You know what I mean?
Not only that, but you get what you pay for. And whoever your fan theories were of, I think Ryan Reynolds would be a good Johnny Cage. I think this A-list actor would be a great Kang. No, we're gonna get somebody. We're gonna get a guy who you've definitely never seen before, and who can't act. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, and usually, like, and that's fine. I think that's fine if you get good actors. Like, if these people were unknown and they were really good actors, they would be able to pull off some of this stuff. But I really didn't find really any of the characters believable aside from Sub-Zero and Scorpion, probably because they had masks on. You know, like, and that was my main problem with the trailer. Is just like, I get more of an indication that I'm not going to enjoy the story. Like, it seems to me like it's going to be a lot of flash, but there's not going to be a cohesive story. It's not going to be well performed, well executed. I could be totally wrong. It could, you know what I mean? Like,
you're gonna be wrong.
I hope
it could
I'm
be
wrong.
just the trailer.
You're gonna be wrong.
I hope I'm wrong.
We're wrong.
Dion,
I hope I'm.
Dion, I know you got my back, Dion. Come on. What do you got?
Look, here's how I look at it, bro. I don't care what you say. You're not gonna get some great, like, Oscar-winning story.
Thank you.
People on an island to fight. Like, if it feels like I would have came up with it, I'd be like, it's epic. And they're doing, no, dude, we're trying to get these people on an island to fight. And I will totally say with, like, Josh, I'm totally there with, like, I just feel like you're not going to get a great story there, right? I mean, the best you can hope for is good acting.
It's important, though, brother. It's important.
No, I don't doubt that one little bit.
Listen, a bunch of fighters fighting for the fate of the world, multi-dimensional tournament. What is there more? That's like their main story, and every character has their own story, but the main story is defending Earthrealm from Shao Kahn. It's right there. Come on, you don't. What?
All right, so
wait. Let's be real.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're fine, bro. But this cat's like, look, it's a birthmark, and they're like, no, it's a, you know, it's your. I'm like rolling my eyes, but then when I saw that fight scene, right? So I can't remember who he's fighting. He stabs the cat, the blood flies up.
Yes, Sub-Zero and Scorpion
into a dagger, stabs him again. I'm like, give me 10 minutes of that, and it's all forgiven.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. My boy Takala's here. Welcome to the chat, buddy. I'm glad you're here. Thanks for dropping in.
I was welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
To me, it's like, that's the bang for the buck, right? Is the fight. Can those be original, inventive? Yes. Give me something I've never quite seen or a different way. Like, to me, that's the payoff for a movie like this. Because I'm not looking at it for, like, you put a love story in there, I'm walking out. I don't care. Like, I don't care who you fall in love with.
It doesn't have to be a love story, but maybe there could be character development and character arcs. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, though. You know what I'm talking about. Cole.
Yes.
Okay. Listen,
everybody's favorite
Louis
character.
Tan is probably the best actor, in the roster.
Out of all of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he is supposed to be, now listen, Titan Goji said it best. It was a missed opportunity. He would have been the perfect Johnny Cage. He's basically Johnny Cage, but instead of a washed-up actor, he's a washed-up MMA fighter. Okay, the whole point to this Cole Young character, played by Louis Tan. By the way, Louis Tan, if you're watching, we'd love to have you on the show. Louis Tan, his character is supposed to be the audience. We are him. We're the ones experiencing this tournament in this world for the first time. We're gonna see it all unfold through his eyes. He is the audience. And I'm gonna close by saying this. I got one more thing I'm gonna defend it. Okay, so Mark, we just did a retrospective of Rumble in the Bronx, and we talked about, you know what? When we watch martial arts movies, we don't watch it for the acting. We watch Jackie Chan to whoop some ass. We watch Jean-Claude Van Damme, we watch Jean-Claude Van Damme to whoop ass. Listen, when I watch porn, I'm not in for porn for the acting, okay? So when it comes to Mortal Kombat, I'm here for the blood, the guts, and of course the
fatality.
Hell yes! Blood, guts, fatalities, and fighting. That's what I'm here for. The trailer brings it. And I'm sold. I'm telling you, the video game movie curse is going to be broken on April 16th. And we're all going to behold this moment, this happy moment together. I cannot wait to see you guys proven wrong. I'm going to remember this clip. I'm going to remember this recording when this movie is just phenomenal. All right? And if I'm wrong, then you guys can rub it in. But, you know, I'm just saving this live stream so on April 16th.
That's totally fine. I want to be wrong. You know what I mean? And like you brought up like our episode, our Rumble in the Bronx episode that we just finished. And you did say that, right? And I agree with that statement in terms of Rumble in the Bronx, right? Because that was 25 years ago. Since then, we've been shown that we can have both. Kill Bill gives us a great story, gives us great acting, and it gives us a lot of blood.
John Wick also.
Right? John Wick also. So now we're in an era where all of these things have been stepped up and we've been conditioned to expect more. So why can't we expect more from Mortal Kombat? You know, like it's great, and I understand that you're like a Mortal Kombat super fan. It would be like for me, like when a new Spider-Man trailer comes out, even if it sucks, I'm gonna be like, oh my God, I can't wait. Like I get that. Yeah. But for those of us who are really just looking for like a good movie, like they needed to bring more with this trailer, I felt like. I don't know that I'm not saying that it's not going to be a good movie, but where my expectation was, like where my excitement was up here before, like after seeing the trailer, now it's like,
dude, mine went opposite.
I actually, I have a title for this movie. Mortal Kombat More Annihilation is what I call it.
You took that way too far.
Fire.
No, and this is why. Let me explain.
Jay's offended.
Mortal Kombat Annihilation, I have to defend that statement because it's like way out there. But yeah, Mortal Kombat Annihilation has everybody, and that was the big catch. It's like, look, Cyrax is here, Motaro's here, all these characters are here. You guys like that, right? And then it's like, yeah, what about it? This movie, I'm telling you, like this from this trailer, I saw.
Not the same.
Well, I didn't see much story. I just saw a lot of fan service, and I will agree with you though about one thing though, Jay, and that was what you said about how Cole is the audience. Yeah. I think Cole could be like a Hijinx character because he is the audience. Where
that's a deep reference.
That is. No, and that's
Mortal Kombat Deception, man.
Right, because you're like, who's Hijinx? Like, oh, whatever. He's just the guy that we play with. He's the protagonist. He's the audience. And then at the end, you find out that he's a beast. Now, they could do that where at the end, like, he has like all these crazy powers. He winds up messing up Sub-Zero and everybody whoever the main protagonist is, Goro, but they have to do it organically, man. And what you were talking about before, Mark, with Rumble in the Bronx and all these movies, John Wick, it's called pacing, right? You can get to the next fight scene if it's paced properly, but it won't be paced properly if it's like, here's Melina, this is what she does. Oh, let's go back and meet Cyrax. Let's go back and meet Goro. Let's go back and meet so-and-so. Pacing is very important too.
I like this guy. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I went on my soapbox. I'm sorry, but
Hey, Mark, there's something on your nose right here, bro. Come on.
Don't do me like that, man.
Dion, you had your hand raised earlier. Yo, Dion, you had your hand raised earlier. What you had? You were gonna say something earlier. What you were gonna say?
Oh, I was actually gonna ask a question. So I'm intrigued because I feel like. To me, if you stick with what we think is Mortal Kombat, to me the premise is thin. So my thought is, could you make a movie? Because I feel like if you want to make a movie that's like, I saw some people say like, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, all these things. I feel like you'd kind of have to reimagine what we imagine these characters, like who they are and why they're here. And it can't, with a property that's so well respected, could you take that kind of liberty? And so that's my question.
But I mean, that has been done, right? Like we've seen that with the MCU. Like those movies are very far removed from the source material. Okay. Like you get the basic premise of who the characters are, but like, Civil War, Captain America Civil War was not comic book Civil War. That was like a totally different storyline. So, you know what I mean? Like, so looking at it from that point of view, I don't really see a reason why you couldn't. I'm not saying take take the characters themselves and reimagine them. But there's no real reason why you have to stick super close to the source material. That's part of what would be interesting, is if you actually did flesh it out and turn it into something.
I like what they did. Now, Mark, we've watched this together a number of times, but Dion and Joshua, did you guys watch the Mortal Kombat Scorpion's Revenge animated movie?
I watched the Scorpion's Revenge animated movie once. I'm not a big fan, gonna be honest, but yeah, go ahead.
I loved it, and what I was going to say is they took the basic premise of the story from Scorpion's perspective, and they put a big twist at the end. I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but there was a twist on how Liu Kang actually won the tournament. There was a twist to it. So, like, Mortal Kombat, if you've been playing the games lately, there's been multiple timelines, multiple takes on what happens during the first 3 tournaments, have you will. So I want to know what they have planned, because there's no way this is going to be a carbon copy of the first movie where, Liu Kang beats Shang Tsung. We get that. I just feel like there's going to be something we're not going to see coming. I really want to know what they're going to do with this particular version, this particular timeline. So, and again, in defense of where you keep on saying, well, the story, look, it's a trailer. I mean, it's just to get you excited for the movie. They can't reveal too much. Yeah. You can't reveal too much.
But they gotta give us something, though.
Who's in the tournament? That's the thing. We got who's in the movie, who's in the tournament. They laid that out. You get a brief glimpse. Hey, we're here to protect the Earth from Shao Kahn, which I'm glad they didn't reveal Shao Kahn. They just showed like a little painting or a mural or wherever that was.
I didn't even catch that.
That was clever. Okay, I watched the trailer like 6 times, so. So I'm just saying, like, you know what? Like, the trailer did its job. I know if you're gonna have a problem with the acting, again, why are you here then? We're not here for the acting. We're here for the blood and guts and fatality. So like,
I'm here for the acting. Like, I want it all. I want it to be good. Period.
They went out and got martial artists for this movie, like the best martial artists they could find for what they, the budget that they were given. Okay, so like they're trying to keep the fighting aesthetic as like authentic as possible, and we're gonna get what we didn't get before, which is the over the top fatalities. By the way, I love seeing Kano holding the beating heart. I loved it. He's like, look what I got here.
By the way, I'm happy for you guys, man. I'm happy for you guys. Like, and I'm a big Mortal Kombat. I'm just
shocked because you two right here, Mr. Mark and Mr. Joshua, you guys are the only people on the internet that are just like Debbie Downers. Like,
that's fine, man. I'm glad everybody got what they wanted and they showed what you guys wanted. I will let you in on a little secret though.
Yeah.
We've already got great Mortal Kombat movies with heavy depth, and they're the cutscenes, the amalgamation of the cutscenes in all of the video games. All right, and the Aftermath storyline, I watched 3 hours of it.
Aftermath was great.
Without like whoever's playing the gameplay, and it's like this is great. This is a great story, like about Centurion or whatever, and like the reversing time and messing with the timeline, bringing people in. You can have depth in a Mortal Kombat. I mean, they've done it.
Yes, but we have to start with this basic story, the first tournament. We have to. This is going to be a starting point. I'm hoping this is the starting point, and this is going to be the beginning of what we call a Mortal Kombat Extended Universe. I'm hoping they're going to branch out to what's going on in Edenia, what's going on in Outworld, what's going on with Johnny Cage, what's going on with the Lin Kuei. I'm hoping that this is just a starting point, okay? And we're going to get that Sub-Zero and Scorpion battle. By the way, like, hats off. That's like the battle I'm waiting for. I know I'm excited for Godzilla versus Kong.
That is one thing.
But Scorpion versus Sub-Zero. Bring it.
And I like that before he becomes Scorpion, that he's actually using a real rope dart.
Yes.
Like, I actually thought that was really cool. That was like a nice touch to show.
Well, not just that, but even when he's the Dead Man Scorpion, the Revenant Scorpion that we know, the Spectre Scorpion that we know, if you notice, again, he still has the rope dart. So it's not the CGI, like hand, the little serpent coming out of his hand this time, which I wasn't bothered by that personally. But
I thought I liked it.
Yeah, so did I. But they're going true to the games where Scorpion has the spear, the rope and spear.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And dude,
cool.
That quick glimpse of Goro, woo!
That was my only complaint about the whole thing, actually.
Why is he there?
Was Goro
there though?
I was like, oh, is that how he's gonna look? Like,
and Jay, even remember when we spoke, even you had complained about Melina.
Okay, there we go. You caught me. Okay, so I have my one.
I didn't even know if it was Melina. I was like, who is that? Is that Katana? She has the thing.
No. It's I'm going in on this. Okay, if I have any complaint, if there's any one part I'm let down about, is the portrayal of Melina. Okay.
Yeah.
Look,
it's one of my favorites. One of my favorite characters.
Melina is supposed to be hideous. Okay, she's supposed to have the most exaggerated teeth, cotton teeth. Like she's supposed to have I don't know how to explain it. All her teeth are like 4 or 5 inches long. Like she's supposed to have monstrous Braca teeth.
Rows of teeth.
Yeah, rows for days, and her face is disfigured and everything. And that's why she wears the mask to conceal her ugliness. The fact that they made Melina good looking with they made her look like a vampire, and she's just licking the blood off the sides, and she's just got little tiny sharp teeth. I was let down with that. Melina's supposed to be ugly, dick shrinking ugly. They screwed the pooch on that.
Hey, you said that, not me, man.
Right.
Dude, we're 30 minutes in. I'm just saying, they went the opposite route. They made her attractive, and they didn't give her the exaggerated teeth. They didn't make her hideous. So I'm a little bit disappointed with that. That being said, I'm placing the bet Melina's not gonna survive this movie. Fatality. If you want to start placing bets, one of my bets is Melina's not gonna make it through the end of this movie.
She's a survivor, though. She survived both sides, and she plays both sides well. So
we've seen her die before.
That's my girl.
So Shay Smithers says, "Is it weird that I had a crush on Melina when I was a kid?"
Well, you couldn't see her face when she was a kid.
I will not blame anyone for having a crush on her. When she had the mask on, but as soon as that mask was off, paper bag that shit.
Oh no.
Right.
I'm just saying, if there's any character I'm let down, it's Melina. But everybody else looks great. Everything else about this trailer looked great, and yeah, I mean, so
during COVID with the mask stuff, I've seen people look normal, and then they take their mask off, and it's oh, there's Melina right there, man, in real life.
Yeah. True story.
Right on.
And look, shout out to Donald Potts Kaiju Inc. in here. He says Mortal Kombat is a kung fu film in its essence. Great acting to me is what the minority of folks are looking for.
And that may be true.
Yeah.
That may be true. I'm not really concerned with what everybody else wants. I'm just saying what I expect out of a movie is, I want the total package. I want to enjoy the martial arts, but I also want the story to make sense. I want to be consumed by the movie I'm watching. So if the acting is poor, then that's going to take me out of it. If the story leaves a lot of holes and I'm asking a lot of questions about why did this happen, and how did they get from here to here, then I'm not going to enjoy it as much. The whole purpose of watching a movie is to have this elevated experience, this sort of immersive experience. And if you don't have all of those components, then it's not going to be immersive. And so that's just my personal take on it. I'm not trying to yuck anybody else's yum. Yeah. I'm just giving you my honest perspective, as far as what I expect out of this movie.
Yeah. No, I get it. Like I said, I'm not I guess I'm not mad at Joshua and Mark for the record. No. I guess I'm surprised. I thought for sure we're all going to share the passion of this trailer. But you know what? That's why we're here on NerdCage, because you know what? We disagree on a lot of things.
I'm happy that it's not an echo chamber. I'm happy it's not a giant like, so great.
I was just, honestly, God, I was surprised because Mark and I were covering this pretty closely, and when the pictures came out on Entertainment Weekly, we were all excited.
Very excited about it. Yeah.
And then the trailer comes, and then I'm like texting Mark like 11 in the morning, like, hit the trailer leaked to Mark.
Yeah.
And then
but truthfully, how often do we like agree on movies? Like, not that often. Do you know what I mean?
I know, but I thought
movies,
this one we were gonna be you know, we were gonna be like Kung Lao and Liu Kang together battling side by side. But no, you decided to be Scorpion and I'm Sub-Zero.
That's right.
In your defense, Jay, Mark didn't like WandaVision at first.
That's a good point.
Is that a segue? Is that a segue?
I like that segue.
Okay, we'll segue. We will segue. Okay.
I appreciate you.
Anyway, if you guys are here right now, just if you're excited for Mortal Kombat, we're gonna be covering this movie very closely. There will be a review, and they may be a watch party in the near future. Wink, wink. I'll leave it at that. So stay tuned. That being said, WandaVision. Holy smokes. The WandaVision is like taking over like every single website and every single YouTube channel. So we gotta hop on this here. So spoiler warning ahead. If you haven't seen WandaVision, just be ready for some spoilers. That being said, Mark, Dion, Joshua, what do you guys got?
Let's start. Joshua, like I watched you on another channel, and you have this mind-blowing theory about the commercials that I absolutely love. You have to share it with our viewers.
Like I had shared at Big Forden Entertainment, shout out really quick. We do our WandaVision roundtable every Sunday, and I'm gonna streamline it. And I'm gonna probably, I'm just gonna drop the nuke, man. I'm gonna do it fast and hard. All right, every single commercial represents an Infinity Stone, okay? First commercial, it's the toaster made by Stark Industries. It looks like it has a face. It looks like it's Vision's face because in the middle, there's a little dot, it's blinking. That's the Mind Stone. Second one's the watch. All right, he'll make time for you. The Time Stone. I feel bad doing this with Jay here. Jay hasn't even seen it. And
he's not gonna watch it.
You're not?
He's not gonna watch it. Don't worry about him.
And then the third, we had the Hydra Soak, right? Go to a world of your own. It's comes in a blue cube, similar to the Tesseract, right? That's the Space Stone. The fourth one would be the Lagos paper towels. How do you clean up a mess? You clean it up by changing reality. What does she spill? A red liquid. What is just like the Aether? Then the fifth one, this is the one that even new Rockstars and all these other channels, they didn't get. It's the Soul Stone. The reason it's the Soul Stone is because you have this kid on an island, right? That's similar to Vormir. You see the moon and the sun paralleled, just like on Vormir. The shark comes out, gives him the Yo magic, which he can't use. He dies and turns into a skeleton, similar to the Red Skull. And the Red Skull can't use the Soul Stone, he says himself, and he can't use Yo magic because it's the snack for survivors. Who are the survivors? Hawkeye and Thanos. They're survived by the people that they sacrificed. And there's a reason why. I have other reasons too with the commercials.
Wow.
Yeah,
okay, before you guys chime in, so Kat F in the chat has she's saying that she thinks that the commercials being represented are Wanda's past traumas, but she says she likes your theory, Josh.
Well, they are. They also are her past traumas on the surface, but underneath, she's creating the each stone within each commercial. Because what does she do in the second episode? Sorry, Jay. Oh my, I feel so bad.
It's all good. Mark tells me everything, so it's all good.
She says
he's not gonna watch it. Don't worry about it.
She sees the beekeeper and she says no, and then time rewinds. She's using the time stone.
Yep. Yeah, I see. I mean, and I'm with Cat F. Like, that's where I was at before I heard this theory, and now I'm like, I just threw that theory away.
And also, let's remember that in each commercial, it has the same actress and actor, who I think are Wanda's parents, and I think that does tie in with her traumatic past.
Yeah.
But they look at us very awkwardly. If you see the woman, she looks very awkwardly, like she's ashamed. Mm-hmm. And I think she's ashamed that Wanda's recreating the stones and doing all this horrible stuff. There's other theories too that I have, but go ahead. I'm done with my soapbox. Go, you guys.
That's excellent. But like, I was just gonna say, like, I also think that those are Wanda's parents, but I didn't read, like, at least in the first commercial, I didn't read that it was shame. I read that it was more fear, right? So to me, the toaster represents the bomb that killed them. So it's a Stark Industries toaster, right? It makes like this noise, like a bomb that's about to detonate.
Yes.
And then when she presses down, like, you know, to make the toast, the sound it makes is similar to a repulsor that Iron Man would use.
It is. Right?
So like, it kind of gives me the impression that that is the bomb that killed them. And the look on her face when the toaster thing is depressed, like when that repulsor sound goes off, it's like a scared look, like something's wrong, something's about to go down, you know, like, and that's what I kind of got out of it, was like every commercial is some traumatic experience that shaped her. Like the Hydra soak, to me, was her being indoctrinated into her being radicalized by Hydra, right? Mm-hmm. The Strucker watch had to do with like Strucker like doing these experiments to her and turning her into the Scarlet Witch. Like, so I mean, my theory is probably not as solid as yours. I like yours a lot better, actually.
But we're both right. Yeah. One is a red herring to get you to forget about the stones, and the other one is the stones. And also, there's other little things, like there's a 666 in the toaster when you flip it upside down. So Mephisto's in there. And, you know, Stark Industries made Vision, I mean, kind of. It's a little more complicated. Yeah. I'm trying to think what else.
I was going to say...
Dion, you have Dion. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say real quick. Shay Smithers in the chat says I feel like the Wanda's breakdown is gonna have something to do with what happens in Doctor Strange 2, since she's supposed to be in that movie as well.
Yeah, it's supposed to lead into Spider-Man 3, and then that leads into Doctor Strange 2, from what I understand. Yeah. Right.
I'm excited for Spider-Man 3. You guys see the bomb drop on that?
The latest. What is the latest one on that?
Oh, he goes to court. And I'll just say he has a new lawyer, Peter Parker. That's it.
Yes. Wait, is that confirmed? Is that a confirmed thing?
I've heard a lot about it. Yes.
Yes. I'm in for it.
Because that's something we covered on our podcast. We talked about that Matt, like the Charlie Cox, the actor that plays Matt Murdock.
Yes.
That he was actually spotted on the set, and so it was sort of intimated that, like, all right, we're going to get Daredevil in this. And not only Daredevil, we're going to get the Netflix Daredevil.
Hopefully, yeah.
And so that's what I'm hoping too. But I don't want to get my hopes up, like maybe he was just visiting the set, or maybe he's playing a different character. We don't know. You know, so, but how awesome would it be if we did get that character in there?
Yes.
Dion, what do you got? You got any theories?
No. You know what? I just love this show. And it was funny because when me and Mark had messaged, or he had posted something earlier about the show, and I was like, "You don't get it?" And he was like, "I don't get it." Is that similar to what you said earlier, Mark?
Yeah.
So, you know, at my job, I hear the word trauma at least 20 times a day. And so when I was watching this show, the first episode, and like the second, I was like, this is, you know, to me, it felt like like she's regressive, right? She's regressed into something to get away from something else. I'm like, you see that all the time. You know, like that to me, I see that all the time, or read about it. And so I was really intrigued by that. And it's funny because then I have a friend who's getting her doctorate in psychology. And I said, do you watch WandaVision? And she was like, I just finished talking to my kids about it. Like, I'm going to talk to my coworkers about it tomorrow. Like, it's this really interesting kind of like getting to see how would a superhero deal with severe mental trauma, right? Lost her parents, lost her brother, lost her lover, got her ass kicked. Like, you know, so like in the end, she's kind of just like, what would a great, I'm not even sure what her powers are defined as, right? But what would that person do in that situation?
Well, she's technically a mutant.
I mean, you know, like she's got all these multiple powers. And what does she do? She pulls inside of herself. Like, that's kind of how I view it. And she goes to like the middle of nowhere and goes, I'm going to create a life where my lover's here and, you know, I'm happy. And then, but it's, and I totally agree with Josh, and kind of she's creating something, right? In the midst of it, whether she realizes it or not. Well, and then everyone else becomes aware that, like, this is not good, right? Because if you continue doing what she's doing, it can become destructive, right? Which it may has already. And so, you know, to me, that's how I watched it from the very beginning. So as you start to see those pieces unveil, I was like, oh, well, yeah, this is what I thought all along. And I just think it's just a great take on great characters, different perspective that leads us to, you know, the excitement of the next movies. But to me, it's just like, this is a great opportunity as well to talk about real issues, you know, which is kind of different for the, you know, like, that's not really what I watched the MCU for, but it's a great opportunity. And so to me, I really dig it.
That's an interesting perspective, because it doesn't come from a nerd perspective of, oh, look at the stones and look at this and that and all this stuff. Oh, and Agatha Harkness and Mephisto and Nightmare. He said Nightmare.
Right.
It's like, but obviously all that stuff too is important. Nightmare, Agatha, Agnes.
Yes.
The twins.
I think Agatha, Agnes, whoever she is, she's evil, man. She knows something. She's the only person that knows in this whole world what's going on. Seems like she's controlling everything, whether it's with the help of Mephisto or not. And Evan Peters,
Peters, that's what I was waiting for.
Here's another thing. There's a lot of herring references. Did you guys catch that?
Herring references? Like what?
Yeah, like, well, red herrings, but also like, you know, oh, remember that time that we had Halloween when we were kids and the woman gives her the fish? She gives the herring. That's like them giving us the red herring. Yeah. And then she also says at the end of that scene, she says, if you don't to Pietro, if you don't stop, I'm going to use my magic and turn you into a herring, a pickled herring. But it could be a hint that he's the red herring of, you know, it's really Quicksilver.
Hey, so Laura from the Review Roulette podcast is in the house now. She says, can Disney say mutant now? I thought that was only a Fox thing before the merger. I didn't know if they started saying it once the buyout happened.
Oh, that's a good question.
That is a good question.
They can play the
I would assume so at this point, because they have the X-Men cartoon and all the X-Men movies on Disney Plus, and of course the merger happened. So I'm not saying definitively yes. I think it's a very good assumption, yes, that they could probably say the word mutant. And now that we got Evan Peters from X-Men crossing over to WandaVision, I mean, I really, really hope they can start saying mutant instead of magic people, because I really hated that.
Enhanced, they used to call them enhanced.
I hated that. And speaking of the Review Roulette podcast, Laura, I had a blast on your show. I want to come back again real soon. Everybody should check out that show. And Laura, you should definitely invite Mark, Dion, and Joshua to be on your show, because we would have a blast. So guys, real quick, the Review Roulette podcast is we get on a Zoom call. We all watch a movie together. We talk about it, and then we rate it. That's all. Just strangers getting together for a movie.
Oh, cool.
And
sounds awesome.
It's a fun hangout, and I've been on there twice already, and every time I've had an absolute blast. And they pick a movie at random, and then when at the end of the show, all the guests get to put a movie of their choice into the drawing.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So I'm saying the three. So everybody on the screen right now, Laura, we would love to be on the show at some point.
Yeah, it sounds like fun.
Yes.
All right. Anything else on WandaVision?
I mean, I have a ton of stuff. I'm trying to hold back, and I apologize.
Me too. I'm like looking at the clock. I'm like, because we could do a whole show. I feel like that's just a spoiler.
I do one every week. So
man.
I just think it's such a great. It's a great show. It's fun. It's different. You know, I love kind of the style of it too. This kind of homage to old shows. And then at first I thought it was going to stay the same, but then when I saw, you know, like each episode kind of moves through time.
Right.
Oh, this is so cool. Like, you know, it's different. Totally different than everything else.
I'm going to ask a blanket question for everybody. Dion Park. Who is it? Is it Mephisto, Nightmare, somebody else? possibly that's controlling everything? Will Magneto show up? What do you think about that?
Yes to all.
Yes to all.
Because they make a lot of references to Mephisto, and that could be a red herring, like that, like you said, like, you know what I mean? It could be that, but I can't help but just like hone in on that. Like every time they make like a small reference, I'm like, yeah, that Mephisto's the big bad. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because it seemed like to me that Agnes or Agatha Harkness, if that's who she really is, I get the impression that like we're meant to think that she's behind all of this, but I don't know, that exchange with Vision in the last episode made me feel like, well, okay, I think she knows what's going on, but I don't think that she has any power to stop it, and I don't think that she's behind it.
I think that was a fake exchange with Vision. I think she was bluffing, playing her.
And that could be.
Yeah, who knows?
And that could be. But what about that? What about the other guy? The guy that like in episode 3,
the mailman.
That she was. No. The guy that like took a saw or something to.
That's Herb. Yeah.
Herb.
Oh, Herb is.
What's up with Herb?
Well, all right. So Herb, everybody's costume, that reflects them. I mean, even Agnes's costume, she's a witch.
Right.
What is Herb for Halloween? He's a Frankenstein.
Right.
He's Frankenstein's monster. He might be dead. He might be resurrected, just like everybody else's costumes. I know. I see Dion, and there's like, oh my God, man. And he did mess with Vision. He gave him the gum and put the, patted him on the back. It got stuck in the gears. He guessed everything that was going to happen too. If you notice, he said, what is that? They're hitting everybody with silly string. Then everybody gets hit with silly string. And these are people with super speed. He's telling you what's going to happen before it happens. And who is he getting information from? Vision wasn't on duty. See that?
Yeah.
Jay, stop at me anytime, please.
No. You're good.
But here's my question though. Okay. Like, he seems to have a fear of Wanda, right? Like, so like if you notice in that same exchange, like when Wanda's like confused about where Vision is, and it's like, oh wait, he's not on the neighborhood watch. He's like, wait a minute, do you want something changed? Do you not like what's going on? Like he knows what's going on. Yeah. He knows that she's like in control of everything. And then he's asking her like, well, did we do something wrong? Like that's I guess my question. Like, who is he really? Like, you know what I mean? Like why would he be afraid? And why does he know anything to begin with?
Yeah, I don't trust the mailman either, dude. That mailman, like, he knows too. He knows. And Agatha was looking at or Agnes was looking at his butt in the second episode, like, oh yeah. And they have these weird exchanges. He says, "Don't kill the messenger," which is like, oh, okay, don't kill the messenger.
Right.
Oh, your mom. See, I'm like, I go deep, dude. I don't mess around with this. Like, I still need to rewatch it, everything, because
it's what we do here. We dissect stuff. Hey, I want to field 3 questions real quick for you guys. So first and foremost, Betty Rage says we should do an entire WandaVision show, which we probably could do that, and maybe I will incline to catch up on it. Paul Taggett says the only character in the Gray Land, which I think he's talking about MCU, is Namor, the I think is that Submariner.
Submariner.
Yeah. And finally, Shay Smithers says, "Hey Mark, who do you want to see play Magneto in the MCU? Someone I think would be good for it is Jason Isaacs."
Yeah, Jason Isaacs would be good for it. I have a couple of people that I would like to see. Like one of them in particular is very like out of the box, and Jay knows who I'm going to say.
Yep.
Like my favorite actor of all time,
Giancarlo.
Giancarlo Esposito to me would work.
Yes.
And here's the thing. Like, I feel like the reason why I say that is because if you look at Magneto's origin and like his original origin, if you were to try to use that origin again, like he would be like close to 100 or over 100
years old.
Yeah, he's way too old for that origin to like hold up now. So now you have to come with like a more recent atrocity, right? And you could use something like the Rwandan genocide, right? So that having that in there gives you a built-in conflict, not only with with other heroes, but you have a built-in conflict with the Black Panther, because now, like, you could say, well, the Wakandans had all this technology and they hid it from us. They knew what was happening and they didn't do anything. So you have like a built-in, you could build in a hatred for Wakanda right there, like a conflict right there. You know what I mean? Like, we know he's got the acting chops to pull it off.
Oh, without a doubt, yep.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just, to me, like, that would be a good
He'd be a scary Magneto because, man, dude, in Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, by the way, Mark, you need to get on the Better Call Saul train. Like, Giancarlo Esposito is scary. And imagine him with the powers of Magneto. Like, I'd be petrified of what he would do with those powers. So I am 100% on board with Giancarlo Esposito. And I'm also... shout out to Giancarlo Esposito. I think Shea Smithers, we talked about it on Twitter. I think he would make a great Mr. Freeze as well if we were going DC. Like if they did like a Joker style like Origins film, but with like Mr. Freeze, like a gritty like Mr. Freeze movie, Giancarlo Esposito would be perfect. Just saying.
This man made Homelander stand down, dude. Like
Yes.
Right.
And I have a theory about his character in that too, but I don't want to.
I think he's a soup.
We need to have another show about that.
We talked about it on our spoiler. I have a theory that, going back to the boys, I think Giancarlo, he's a soup.
I think he is the reincarnation of the German guy that was Stormfront's husband.
Oh my God!
I don't know if you heard
he's
that.
It's a good one.
Yes.
That makes a lot sense.
I'm dropping bombs, man. I'm so sorry. I'm dropping these bombs,
dude. We have a spoiler warning. It's okay. We can talk about whatever.
Okay.
No, I love it. I love that theory. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because think about it. Like it's all business. Is what he said at the end of season 2. He's like it's all. He doesn't care about Stormfront being a racist. He's like, hey, it's business.
And if that's the case, then he is a suit because he has Compound V. He's probably been using it.
Yeah, I think he's a suit.
Or he's created some kind of failsafe for himself so that they can't use their powers against him. Kind of like Stryker, like Wolverine can't do anything to Stryker because they built in that failsafe. So maybe that's why he's not afraid of them.
That's a good thought.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right. So, is it safe to segue on the other trailer that dropped over the weekend?
Absolutely, man.
Sure.
Okay. So, I lost my damn mind when, and I think this is something we can agree on, that the, hold on, let me get the images here straightened out here. Oh my gosh, where the hell did I put the Justice League in here? But yeah, the Justice League trailer, man, I was stoked about it. Oh my gosh, I don't even know where. Oh, there it is. It's up. Okay. So, sorry, I have so many like pictures queued up. I want to be sure I had the right one on the screen here. So yes, that trailer, man. Just seeing Darkseid and Darkseid's forces, and of course that Joker reveal at the end.
Yeah.
Oh God, I just can't wait because this is everything that I wanted the first time, and we're getting it. Like, oh.
Are you getting it, Jay?
Josh, I'm looking at Joshua right now. Joshua, are you here to rain on my parade again?
I'm just sitting here listening, waiting for my turn. I'm just chilling. I don't want to rain on anybody's parade yet.
Okay.
Go ahead. We got it. We gotta know. We gotta know what you think.
By the way, Justice League. This is Zack Snyder's Justice League. Comes out March 18th. My birthday, man. I get it.
Oh, yeah.
Happy birthday.
Awesome.
By the way, I had that day off from both of my jobs, and I'm gonna be watching Justice League as soon as it drops at midnight. And of course, Anthony Marquez, Kung Lao, is gonna be coming on the show that day too.
Wow.
So,
nice.
And it's your birthday, so it's gonna be an awesome March 18th.
That's not the Kung Lao from the new.
No, from the game.
The original.
The original Kung Lao is gonna be here on NerdCage March 18th.
Oh, maybe you can have me on for my birthday or whatever and watch my great present, Justice League. 4 hours of my life. There we go. All right, let's do it. What do you got, Zack Snyder, this time? Because the last time, man, I don't know. I'm not. Hey, and I respect.
Last time wasn't Zack Snyder's fault, though.
Oh, Justice League, yeah. But I mean, Batman vs Superman. And
right.
Some of the,
okay. In defense of Batman versus Superman, Joshua, have you seen the Ultimate Cut at least?
I did, and I wish I didn't even watch that, man.
Wow.
I know. I'm so
dude,
sorry.
it's all right.
I'm so sorry. And hey, shout out to all the DC fans. I have a lot of DC.
No. Listen. I'm not mad. You know why? Because I don't know if you caught our show last week with shout out to the Real Talk. They were fantastic. Okay. But we went on a Zack Snyder tirade. And we're all pretty much divisive about it. And the thing is, I love Zack Snyder, but I'm not going to blame anybody who doesn't. Because in my mind, it's an acquired taste. It really is. His style of filmmaking is different. So I'm not going to knock anyone who doesn't like his style of movies.
It is. I respect him.
It really depends on what you're looking for, right, in a movie. So, like, if you're looking for a stylized look that has with a lot of good visual effects, a lot of good color, that's your guy. But if you're looking for pacing, you're looking for like comprehensive storytelling, like he's very hit or miss in my opinion. You know what I mean? So that's where I'm coming from. Like I feel like that's the main reason why people are divisive on him. I don't think it has anything to do with any kind of feud like Marvel versus DC or
No. I don't care about that. I will definitely have to pause, brother. My brother down there, you said color?
Well, you know what I'm saying? Like not like an abundance of color, but what I'm saying is like if you are a fan of a specific color palette or a specific type of
the
color
dark
grading.
filter.
Right.
Okay,
like if that's your thing, like as opposed to like sort of the orange and orange and cyan color palette that like Marvel often gives you. Yeah. Like, yeah. So those are two different styles of color grading. If you're into like the DC style of color grading, then you're gonna like Zack Snyder's films. I feel like.
Fair enough.
And I just feel like what Zack Snyder's done so far, especially for his three, Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, just like I like the fact like it looks like a Frank Miller novel, like it's dark, it's brooding, it's it's different from your typical MCU, it's different from Christopher Reeve Superman, it's it's a dark tone. I'm sorry, I love it. I feel like his movies are great. It's escapism, like at its finest. I love how it's done. I cannot wait for this 4-hour cut. It's gonna be Mark, and you said it to me privately. You're like, we're gonna get a completely different movie. That's what I want.
And I agree. I'm not knocking the movie. Like the trailer didn't up my expectations, but my expectations were already high.
Yeah.
So like. What I like about this version is that it's giving us a completely different story. The focus is going to be not on the Trinity, the DC Trinity. Mm-hmm. It's going to be more about Cyborg and more about like some of the other characters that we don't get a lot of backstory on often. Mm-hmm. And so yeah, I kind of want to see it for better or for worse. One other positive thing that I'll say is that I hated Jared Leto's original iteration of Joker. Mm-hmm. I think that they're giving him a second chance here. I think he's taking that second chance.
Yeah.
I liked the little bit that I saw of him. You know what I mean? Like,
and he's the first Joker to come back in a sequel. Just saying. It's never been done. I mean, if you want to be nitpick and say, well, what about the screen time? We haven't. This is the first time we're actually getting, a return of the same Joker. Mm-hmm. And I really don't. I don't know if I should spoil it, but I know what's going on with that nightmare scene, and I cannot wait to see it executed. Kevin Smith spoiled that a long time ago. I don't know if I should say it or not because I don't want to ruin it.
You shouldn't. We don't want to. Those of us that don't want to know. Okay. Like I would rather just kind of watch it and find out.
Okay.
But one thing I'm curious about, like since we're talking about Jared Leto's Joker, this new version of him, no tattoos on his face.
Yeah, like not damage anymore.
Yeah, like
he's got scars all over his face though.
No, I meant like it doesn't say damage.
I know, but I'm just saying that. But if you look closely, like all his face is like scarred up, not just like
so you think he's just like cut himself, cut all that off.
Yes.
That would be a cool
Echoing Heath Ledger.
Cool explanation.
Like my
yeah. Channeling Heath. He was already channeling Heath with like the longer hair. His voice is kind of similar. This new version, he's got the little, smile that's going a little bit past his mouth, simulating a Chelsea grin. But I do like this iteration a lot better. At least what I've seen so far, I like it a lot better than what we saw in Suicide Squad.
I want to say one more thing before, Dion, I want to get your thoughts on it, but I want to say one more thing. You know what? The one thing I'm surprised no one's talking about, and I don't feel like this is spoilers territory. It was established in Suicide Squad and Batman vs. Superman that Joker drove Batman mad, that Batman spent 20-plus years trying to kill him. Now we're in a post-apocalyptic dark side, basically has taken over Earth, and now Batman has to rely on the Joker. He can't kill him now. He spent his whole life trying to kill him, and now he needs him. I am shocked that no one's pointed that out.
I mean, I didn't even know that first part was the premise, because it doesn't really jibe with what was in Ben Affleck's original script, which they were going to use in conjunction with Justice League. Yeah. So that first part is news to me. So that's why I haven't brought it up before.
And we're also gonna get a flashback too. Like we're gonna see why Wayne Manor was burned to the ground. So we're gonna probably get some stuff on that, how Robin was killed and all that good stuff. Dion, you've been quiet this whole time about Justice League, so I want to get your take on everything and your feel for your excitement level and what you thought about that trailer.
Yeah, you know what? I love the trailer. It's like it's gonna give us what we are expecting, right? This is gonna be this huge, epic extravaganza that they're gonna spend billions of dollars on when it's all said and done, and it's gonna be a good story. In the end, I love that we're gonna see the Joker again. That to me is great. We're gonna get the real vision, right? Because I've watched the Justice League maybe 2, maybe 3 times. I really don't like it in its current iteration. I'm just like, okay. And I didn't even really catch as well, like the lip thing, that was third watch. I was like, oh, that lip thing is real. So to me, yeah. But you know what? I'm very different from all of you. I don't even like modern trailers. I'll be 100% honest. I like 70s trailers. I want a trailer like Jaws. You hear like a little music, like something scary in the water, and you see Jaws. And I like going into movies not knowing what I'm going to see. I know I want to go see Justice, right. But other than that, I really don't want to see anything else, because I think, personally, I think they give too much away.
Amen, brother.
And I think that's what Josh's thoughts are on going back to Mortal Kombat. They give, based on that trailer, half the movie's gone, right? I've seen the good bits.
Yep,
so
how they meet, yeah.
So I'm not a fan of that style of trailer anyway. So, but I like this. It just had music. It's epic. It doesn't have any real, maybe 2 lines of dialogue, and it just, it's big.
This world will fall.
Yeah, like I dug it in that way.
Well, just remember, we didn't even see Apocalypse or like Darkseid's forces really in the Josh Whedon thing. And speaking of Josh Whedon, like another thing too about the first Justice League, like knowing what happened with all the accusations coming out, like knowing what happened behind the scenes, it makes it that much harder to stomach that movie. At least this is not going to have any of that.
Right.
I'm not trying to go, in that territory, but I'm just saying at least this was all behind the scenes. This was all Zack Snyder. There was no drama like that, So at least we're getting a movie that's being filmed like from the heart and everybody's in on it, and no one's like, well, this guy did this to me, this person said that to me. None of that.
I don't know about that stuff through osmosis, through Movie Aficianados, my group. I don't know the whole story with Ray Fisher. I know part of it. You guys know more about that stuff than me.
Well, I mean, I don't know a whole lot about the Ray Fisher situation. I mean, a lot of that is like somewhat nebulous as far as like his treatment.
Yeah.
You know, like, you know, as far as how Joss Whedon treated him and treated everyone else. But the backstory behind the original Justice League, the Joss Whedon version, is that Zack Snyder started out, you know, with his version of the film. Warner Brothers didn't like it, and they butted heads with him. He had a tragedy in his family, lost his daughter. He decided to take some time and just stepped away from that project. They brought in Joss Whedon, and when they brought him in, they said, you know what we have here? We don't want it. We want you to just redo, just start from scratch pretty much. And you have this much time to complete it. And there's some politics that had to do with why they had to deliver it within a specific amount of time.
Yeah.
And the result was a mess of a film, basically.
Honest to God, I'm hoping like 10, 15 years down the road, I might be in the minority, but I hope they make a movie about the making of these Justice League movies and what went on.
Yeah. I would love to see a documentary of the making
or even a documentary. But I was just thinking, like, what's that? Like a disaster artist. Like, I would just love to see like a disaster artist style of behind the scenes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that would be cool too.
I thought you were talking about Hearts of Darkness. That's the.
No. I'm just saying, like, I would love to see either like a disaster artist style movie about the making of these movies, or better yet, what Mark just said, a documentary. Like, I think that end of itself might be more fascinating.
Yeah, Hearts of Darkness is a documentary about Apocalypse Now and the mess it was, and also one like that about what was that movie with Val Kilmer, The Island of Dr. Moreau?
Oh wow, there's one on that.
Yeah, because that was a whole mess too. So maybe they'll do it. They'll call it Injustice of something.
Right. Have you seen The Death of Superman Lives?
Yes.
That is a great documentary. So years ago, Tim Burton was going to do a Superman movie, and Nicolas Cage was going to play Superman.
Oh yeah.
And it was, like the project was pretty well underway. Like they, at least the pre-production, they had the suit made, they had all this stuff going on. But the documentary itself is about like what happened to make that whole project fall apart. And it's a compelling documentary. It's really good. You should check it out.
Yeah. And if I'm not mistaken, I think the whole thing's on YouTube.
Yeah, it might be.
I think you can get the whole thing on YouTube. It's fantastic. Especially, we'll probably wrap up the show pretty soon, but I will say this. Like, one of the most fascinating part about that documentary is Kevin Smith's interview, because Kevin Smith was originally brought in to write and direct Superman Lives.
Right.
And then the studio interfered, and he goes on a tirade about that. And then they said, screw it. Then Warner Bros. Said, screw it. We want Tim Burton back. Tim Burton brought us success with Batman. Maybe he could do the same for Superman. And then it's just wild from there. Everything that happened and all the studio interference, and then the budget, and then of course the knee-jerk reaction to Batman and Robin, like all that played a factor. Like, it's a fascinating documentary. Probably one of my more favorite, documentaries in recent years. Definitely highly recommend if anybody in the chat hasn't seen it. And to Dion and Joshua, it's a must watch.
Yeah, it's a really good documentary. So before we kind of wrap this up, do we have any questions from the chat? Does anybody have any questions?
Hey Jay, if I can intercede, there was an early question by Cindy that I was interested in. I was interested in hearing Mark's thoughts if you're able to find it.
Yeah. Was it the one where she asked about the martial artists? Okay, yeah, I remember that. So Mark, Cindy asked, do you think having professional martial artists makes the fighting scenes better or worse? I think is what the question was.
All right, so here's my take on that. So historically speaking, martial arts films have basically been up until recently. The premise has always been to find great martial artists and put them in front of a camera and just say action. right? So the result of that has always been really good martial arts, but really crappy execution in terms of acting and delivering the story, right? Now, recently, they've sort of reversed that, like starting with like movies like The Matrix and then like the Mission Impossible movies. They've gotten professional actors, and then they've just brought in martial arts experts and taught them martial arts well enough to execute those fight scenes. Yeah. I personally think that works better, and I would rather see more of that than for them to go backwards and to go back to how they used to do it in like the 80s and the 90s. That's just my personal opinion of it.
Yeah, no, I totally get it. And I saw another question earlier from Laura from Review Roulette. She says, was this change up before or after Solo? Because that wasn't the same deal with Ron Howard. So I think the Justice League thing happened before Solo, but Solo is like another one where like someone got fired well into production and this and that. So
yeah, it's not that uncommon like to lose a director or to lose a writer like midway
Superman
through
2.
a production. Yeah, Superman 2 is like a great example. Yeah. I mean, you had like Richard Donner who like butted heads with the Salkinds and was fired from that project, and then Richard Lester, who was the second unit director, was brought in, and they just said, it's your show. Like you just take over the project. And that like, I don't want to say those kind of things happen every day, but they happen more often than what we often realize.
And I think the Solo thing, that was mainly Kathleen Kennedy. Like, we can go on about. We could probably do a whole entire show about Kathleen Kennedy, and probably not in a positive way.
Well, it makes me sad because Lord and Miller are some of the most amazing talents in Hollywood today. I mean, with Into the Spider-Verse and the Lego.
Oh yeah.
I mean, dear Lord, I'm jealous, and I'm a writer too. I do my own screenplays. I'm not jealous of, when I'm jealous of a writer, that's when man, when I'm just like, wow, Lord and Miller, they're so smart. And instead they went with Ron Howard, so.
Yeah. Who's no slouch. I mean, Ron Howard's
that Solo movie was I'm not a big fan. But.
Right. Yeah, I can't speak to it. I'm not like a huge Star Wars fan. Like I like the Mandalorian and I like the original trilogy, but the rest of it, no. I'm not a big.
Jay, did you want to talk about The Last of Us? You'd said something about that.
I guess we can go real quick before. Okay, one last topic, I guess we could squeeze in, and then Dion and Joshua, I want you guys to plug your plug all your stuff in. And by the way, it's all in the description, by the way. But one of the things I wanted to touch base on, because Joshua, I mean, most of us here, not so much Mark, but we're gonna pull him in someday. We're video game fanatics here, and I thought the casting. Now listen, I never played Last of Us, but I know how big of a game that is. And we just mentioned Mandalorian just a second ago, and Pedro Pascal has been casted as the lead for Last of Us.
Amazing actor, as long as he don't come with that damn hair from Wonder Woman.
Well, I didn't like him in that Wonder Woman movie at all, man. He was hamming it up. He was hamming it up, man.
I couldn't deal with the hair. I just couldn't take it. I couldn't take it.
Well, that was because there was a Trump comparison. I don't know if you noticed that.
Yeah, I picked up on that too.
He was supposed to be Donald Trump, but either way, just like, oh, well, I'm going to take your oil, and then I'm going to go here, and then I'm going to do this, and then we're going to put up the wall in Egypt. I hope he never does anything like that ever again, because I'm like, I didn't really know who it was. I couldn't even recognize him in the getup. Like you said, the hair. I was like, oh wow, that was Pedro Pascal. I didn't even notice it was him. And I was just like, who is this guy? Like, what did they pull him from theater acting from Broadway? Not even that. Like they're good actors too. I don't know, like from film school or something, because he was him.
Listen, we can nitpick that movie for days. I enjoyed it. It was fun. I mean, we had a blast doing the watch party. By the way, thank you to everybody who came to that watch party, because that was a hoot.
That was fun.
That was so much
tons of fun.
And I cannot wait for us to chop it up with the Justice League watch party, because a 4-hour watch party with 7 people on screen at once, you bet your sweet ass that's gonna be nuts. But anyway,
I'm just so glad it's a Saturday.
Yeah, and it's a Saturday night. It's coming on a Saturday night. But Pedro Pascal, like, this Last of Us is happening at the right time, because again, I said earlier, Mortal Kombat is going to break the video game movie curse, And The Last of Us is going to follow that trend because Pedro Pascal is perfect for Last of Us, and I'm looking forward to seeing. And also, we got the new Resident Evil movie coming this year too. So I'm hoping that this video game movie curse is over and we can start having real legitimate. I won't go call it saying cinema, but better made movies based on video games. I'm not gonna, like I said, I don't want to call it cinema because
I think it already got broken with the Tomb Raider. I know I'm in the minority.
I haven't seen it yet. I have not seen Tomb Raider.
I saw it in theaters. Tomb Raider. I'm a big Tomb Raider guy, so I saw it immediately. And I might be the minority. Everybody was like, that was mediocre. No, I thought it was really good, and I would love to see Alicia Vikander back as Lara Croft.
And she's coming back for a sequel too.
I think Prince of Persia was pretty good.
And shout out to my buddy Yoko Higuchi. We were talking earlier today about Mortal Kombat. He's like, yo, my excitement levels for Mortal Kombat is pretty high. And then I told him about the video game curse thing. And then Yoko said that Detective Pikachu broke that curse. And I'm but is Detective Pikachu really a video game movie?
Sonic was okay. I like Sonic.
Yeah, people like Sonic. That's true.
I like Sonic too. But
I still haven't seen it.
But okay, let me say something about Detective Pikachu and Sonic. Is that those movies had characters from video games. It wasn't like a video game movie. You know what I'm saying? Like,
sure, fair enough.
So that's why in my mind, like Mortal Kombat, it's based on the game. The story and the aesthetic from the game is going to be in the movie. To me, it's a video game movie.
To me, Tomb Raider, it was just a good, solid story. Alicia Vikander was perfect. And yes, they do have cutscenes from the Tomb Raider remake, and I was okay with that. I was like, oh, that's awesome. That's the plane scene. And then they do it quick. It's part of the plot, and they move forward. I thought that broke the curse, but nobody liked it. Everybody complained. So
well, like I was in 8th grade when the Angelina version came out, and listen, I was 13. You know, I'll leave it at that. I was 13 and seeing Angelina like on screen.
Watch yourself, okay?
Yeah, I'm just saying.
You know how I feel about Gal? That's how I felt about Angelina.
Wow.
I was a teenage boy, okay, and my mind was blown because, like, oh my gosh, she's so hot, she's Lara Croft.
Wow.
Years later, I rewatched Tomb Raider, and I'm like, oh my god, this is so terrible.
And also years later, you were an older teenager, and you saw a Cradle of Life, and you were like, oh god.
Yeah, so like Tomb Raider when it first came out, because I was 13 and innocent and like, oh my god, Angelina's playing Lara Croft. Oh my god, I don't have to like look at pixelated boobs. I get to see Angelina Jolie. like it was mind blowing at the time. But then like years later, as I grew older, and then I rewatched, like, oh god, dude, what was I thinking? This is bad.
Yeah, it is bad. I agree.
Say what you want, okay? I still like it.
That's fine.
I get it. Like, it's turn your brain off and enjoy, but like, I don't know. I gotta check out the new Tomb Raider, because I've heard from a lot of people that it's actually legitimately good. I definitely want to check it out. I really do. Okay, so real quick here. Titan Goji says, looking forward to Jordan Vogue Roberts, who did Kong Skull Island, by the way, doing Metal Gear Solid. Yes. I'm hoping that's going to turn out good. Godzilla Gamer 77, good to see you in here. It says Joel's going to go golfing in the show just like he did in Last of Us 2. Okay, all right. So I guess, it's getting close to 9:30. So Dion, Joshua, go ahead and plug yourself. Where can everybody find you?
Go ahead, Josh.
Movie Aficianados on Facebook and YouTube. We got over 6,000 members on Facebook, including NerdCage and Mark. They post their stuff all the time in there. And awesome. We have other great content creators in there posting about movies, news, reviews, memes. And I'm on YouTube now. I'm more active. I have my different reviews up. I got my reviews for Psycho Gorman and some trailer reactions and some other things. I also have my strip club stories if you want to check that out.
Sub that man up. Link in the description.
Also check out Big Ford Entertainment for the OOC on Wednesdays. We talk about real stuff. We talk about crazy stuff, politics, racial issues, like, like deep stuff, like school bullying, all types of crazy stuff. And then Sunday, WandaVision Roundtable, and my comic. Check out my comic. That's it.
Yes, link in the description. Amazon link in the description below to get Josh's comic.
Thank you so much.
Score.
Yeah. Dion, where can everybody find you and promote your stuff?
Man, www.offthebeatenpodcast.com.
Check it out.
I do a podcast that's focused on Chicago. I'm going to, starting in the spring, which is only about 4 weeks away now, but starting in the spring, I'm going to have a YouTube. I have a YouTube channel, but I erased everything on it, so it's going to be restarting. So podcast is Chicago. YouTube's going to be everything else. So that's where I can kind of go out into the world and talk about all the stuff I can't necessarily talk about in the podcast. Nice. So I want to keep it, I want to keep it Chicago. Other than that, I have Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and OnlyFans.
I was waiting for that.
If you want to know.
For the ladies.
If you want to know what my OnlyFans is about, go look at my OnlyFans. And that's actually onlyfans.com/OTBP After Dark Free. So yeah.
Keyword After Dark.
After Dark.
Link in the description below.
So check that out for sure, please. And thank you guys so much, man. Thank you, Josh, for being so knowledgeable. It's amazing to sit with you cats. Appreciate you cats so much. So thank you guys for letting me just sit and chill and listen and learn. So thank you.
Yeah, listen.
Thank you for hanging out with us, man.
Yes.
Like it's always a pleasure to have you here, man.
Both of you guys.
Yeah, just like I say with a lot of my favorite actors when it comes to movies, like when either one of you or both of you are on, you instantly elevate the show for us. So we really appreciate you coming.
Absolutely. And Mark, we got some stuff dropping at midnight tonight. So go ahead. What we got coming up?
Oh yeah, I almost forgot. So we have a new podcast episode that's going to be premiering on YouTube and also on pretty much anywhere that you listen to a podcast. So Spotify, Stitcher, Audible, iHeartRadio, pretty much anywhere you listen to your favorite podcast. But this episode is going to be the 5-year anniversary of Deadpool. So that's one of our favorite comic book movies. So we decided to sort of like break down what we love about it. We nitpick it. We talk about Deadpool 2 as well. So if you're interested in that, after midnight, it will be available on all those outlets.
Yes. Cannot wait. I cannot wait to see it because I haven't seen the edit yet. So I'm looking forward and watching that premiere at midnight.
I'm interested to know what you guys think too. So, if you like it, if you dislike it, comment, like it, or don't like it, whatever, but comment and let us know what you think.
Absolutely. And of course, we just want to promote that next week, Alexander the Swell is making his NerdCage Live debut, who's also from Chicago, by the way, Dion. We cannot wait to have him on the show because that dude is a riot. His videos, man, listen. Yeah, he covers a lot of Godzilla stuff, but man, if you want to laugh, I'm telling you, dude, this dude is out there. We cannot wait to have it on the show. And guess what? Rage in the Cage will be back next week. Me, Alex, and Mark, we're going to debate best Steven Spielberg movie because Alexander the Swell's favorite movie is Jaws and Jurassic Park. So we really cannot wait to get into that debate. I know that's going to be a really poppin' debate because there's so much to talk about, so much to cover. So yeah, be there next week as Alexander the Swell stomps into NerdCage Live with the return of Rage in the Cage. Best Steven Spielberg movie debate. That's gonna be lit. So be there for that.
Yeah. It's Steven Spielberg is one of those directors that you really can't go wrong with. Like, you can't. There's one picture in particular that I think that
he
no
may
one
be
likes.
the GOAT. Like when it's over said and done, right? If you're a fan of his or not, like his body of work stands for itself. There, he
stands for itself, right?
He's my favorite might be not anybody else's. It's Duel, man. Duel is unbelievable.
Duel is great. Mm-hmm. That was a TV movie. A lot of people don't realize that. That was a TV movie from 1975.
Yeah.
That is excellent. That's a deep cut, man. I'm really impressed that you even brought that up. No one talks about Duel.
It's a way to build tension that's helped me with my writing. And it's really helped me out like that.
Yeah.
It's different. It's bar none. Yeah.
It's a great movie.
And what was his first movie? The one about the truck driver?
Yep. That was it.
That is okay. Yeah, dude. I've been wanting to I've seen it, but not seen it. So I gotta get my hands on that film.
Right.
All right. So, but yeah, I think that we got everything out there. That's out there. Again, everybody sub these guys up over there. Links in the description below. These are friends of the channel. We love having them here. We love to have them back. And again, Laura, if you're still in here, you should invite us all to your show. Because like I said, that's hella fun. I love to hear these guys, chop it up with everyone in that show. Okay, so that being said, we please ask you to like, comment, subscribe, ring that bell, and spread that shit like syphilis. So USA, from Syracuse to the Hudson Valley to Chicago to Louisville to all of our friends and fans around the world at NerdCage Live. Enjoy life, stay safe, and good night.
Sayonara.
And we're going to run all the promo clips to check out our upcoming shows, all right? Thanks very much, everybody. You guys have been amazing.
Finish him. Kung Lao wins. Fatality. Flawless victory. Prepare to die.
Tell me, do you bleed?
Behold, Mark has given me permission to host a Snydercut watch party on Saturday, March 27th, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, and 5 p.m. West Coast. For this epic event, I call upon thee, Dion from Off the Beaten Podcast, voice actor Matthew Farden, Titan Goji, Brian from Monstrosities, Wild Band, and Yoko Higuchi from Resistance Films.
Ooh, trying to get out of the NerdCage, are ya? Well, before you go, hit that subscribe button. And if you're really intrigued, ring that bell. Thank you for dropping by. Until next time, tell everyone you know about NerdCage Live!
You guys have been amazing. Thank you so much. We will see you next week. And stick around at midnight tonight. The Deadpool's dropping tonight at midnight.